Battleground Bengal has a new face-off. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee versus Visva Bharati Central University. In an unprecedented move, the university's Vice-Chancellor has published a statement against the Chief Minister. Actually, it's been signed by the PRO of the university. It's not just a critical statement, it's a downright disrespectful statement as well. Listen into what the Vice-Chancellor has said. He has said, "We would be better off without your blessings since we are in a habit of walking the path shown by the Prime Minister. See through your eyes and not through your ears. We urge you not to provoke students and teachers into treading the wrong path." Now, this is a Vice-Chancellor talking about a Chief Minister. Why has he said what he has said? He's joining us in just a bit to tell us why and explain that letter to us. The question is, how did relations break down so badly and to such a big low? At the heart of the controversy is Nobel Prize winner Amartya Sen. His grandfather, along with Rabindranath Tagore, had set up the Visva Bharati in 1921. Plots of land were allocated to many eminent educationists on a 99-year lease. Amongst them was Amartya Sen's father. In fact, The Economist grew up in a house built on this very plot of land. Problems first arose in 2020. The university released a list of so-called illegal occupants on its campus land. That list included Amartya Sen as well. Then last month, the university wrote 2 letters to him demanding some parts of the land be returned. Enter Mamata Banerjee. She visited Sen's house in Bolpur and handed him documents that established his ownership of the land. She also offered him Z+ security. But the matter did not end there. Mamata Banerjee took aim at the university for targeting a Nobel laureate. She claimed the university was being saffronized by the BJP. Listen in.
Visva Bharatiর অনেক ছাত্রছাত্রী এসেছিল, তাদের উপরে জুলুম চলছে, অত্যাচার চলছে, শিক্ষকদের উপর, অধ্যাপকদের উপর, কর্মচারীদের উপর, ছাত্রছাত্রীদের সাসপেন্ড করে রেখে দিয়েছে, অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স কমিয়ে দিচ্ছে, বিভিন্নভাবে অত্যাচার করছে। কোর্টে কেস আছে, কোর্ট কি বলে আমি দেখি, আর তারপরে বাদবাকি জনগণের আদালতে যেটুকু করার জেনে রাখবেন। আমি ছাত্রছাত্রীদের পাশে ছিলাম, অধ্যাপক অধ্যাপিকাদের পাশে ছিলাম এবং শিক্ষককর্মী অশিক্ষককর্মীদের পাশে ছিলাম। আমি জানি কি করে কি করতে হয়।
Now, yesterday's statement by the university is a new low. You have seen chief ministers and a vice-chancellor openly trading barbs, but not like this. That too around one of the most iconic universities in the country. Visva Bharati is the brainchild of Rabindranath Tagore. It's his university. It has been declared an institution of national importance. And to see this sort of politics around that university is pretty sad, to be very honest.
Very weird that, why does Mamata Banerjee always has to make a statement about everything? Why did she have to go to Amartya Sen's house? Just because Amartya Sen wants her to be the next Prime Minister. Mamata Banerjee has always making such loose comments. It is the language and the culture of TMC party. And she is the leader of that party and she has always been using this kind of loose language.
Okay, who is it using loose language? Was it the Chief Minister using loose language, or was it Visva Bharati using loose language against the Chief Minister, and why? Bidyut Chakrabarty is the Vice-Chancellor of Visva Bharati and he's joining us on the broadcast. Professor Chakrabarty, first of all, thank you very much for your time here on Mirror Now. The letter that has been published by the university, by Visva Bharati, is pretty unprecedented. For our viewers, allow me to read out 2 to 3 lines, after which I want to ask you why you felt the need to write such a harsh letter to the Chief Minister of the state. You say Visva Bharati is the only central university of Bengal. We would be better off without your blessings since we are in a habit of walking the path shown by the Prime Minister. Do most of the state-run universities currently maintain their desired standards? We urge you to not provoke students and teachers who desire your patronage into treading the wrong path. What has prompted this attack on the Chief Minister? Professor Chakrabarty?
Madam, first of all, I think, I dislike when the anchor comes up with her own judgment on a particular statement. In fact, if I knew about it, that you would come up with your own understanding of the situation from your own partisan point of view, probably I would not have participated in this kind of discussion. This is simply not done because an anchor should be neutral. If the anchor is loaded with her own values, then I think there is no point discussing the matter. Since you have already decided that what I have done is an irresponsible statement against a CM of the level of Mamata Banerjee, then I think, I have nothing to say. Whatever you decide, whatever you, think you should say, please go ahead and excuse me. I would like to withdraw from the,
Professor
the
Chakrabarty.
program. Thank you, madam.
Professor Chakrabarty.
No, madam,
Professor Chakrabarty, you must hear me out. You're a professor. You're a professor. Professor Chakrabarty, you're an honored guest. Professor Chakrabarty, you're an honored guest on the show. Just a minute. You're an honored guest on this show.
Vice Chancellor. You are talking to
I know that, sir, and I've said that. Yes, I know that. Yes, I know that, and I have just said that you're an honored guest.
Vice Chancellor. I'm sorry, madam.
Professor Chakrabarty, Professor Chakrabarty, you have had your say. You have had your say.
No, madam, no.
You have had your say. Hear me out. You are the Vice Chancellor of Visva Bharati University. A university and a campus is a place for disagreements.
Please, I participated in many television programs. The anchor doesn't come up with his or her
Professor Chakrabarty.
Here you began with the accusation
Professor Chakrabarty. Professor Chakrabarty, a couple of things. You're the vice chancellor of a university. Hear me out, and you can look. Hear me out, and if you don't want to participate, I will respect you for that. You're an honored guest on this show. I think I've said that. You are, of course, the Vice Chancellor of Visva Bharati University, which is why you're on the show. And there is no attempt at disrespecting you or your position, first. Now, you've given me your point of view. Listen to my point of view. My point of view is this. The letter that is in the public domain is unprecedented and it is political. It is not something we have seen a central university do. So my simple question is, what prompted that?
Now, tell me, madam, how many central universities vices letter you have seen? Where are you making, how do you make this judgment, on what basis, on what evidence? If I give you, examples, will you accept it?
Yes, of course. You're here to have your say. Why would you think we won't let you have your say? So you're the Vice Chancellor of a very prominent university.
I didn't know that you would come up with this kind of statement. If I knew, then probably I would not have agreed to be part of your program. But let me tell you that whatever we have done on the basis of the evidence. And the Prime Minister is not the Prime Minister. He may be Prime Minister for you. He's my Chancellor. So whatever we do, we are guided by his margdarshan. And that is what I have mentioned. So if Mamata Banerjee has been, violating all norms, all regulations, and hitting me below the belt, that time you don't see it. That time you remain blind. So I think my request to you that please, be neutral. And then try to assess the, situation on the basis of neutral criteria.
Sir, here...
No, madam, this is not done,
here at Mirror Now, we like to think we are neutral. You think we are not? That's okay. Let me ask you this. Why do you think she was hitting below the belt? Because what are the pictures that have come out to us from Bolpur and Visva Bharati? That here's the Chief Minister who's trying to help out a Nobel laureate who's being troubled by the Visva Bharati. That is the narrative and the picture that has come out from the TMC. So why would you say that she is hitting you below the belt?
Madam, just I'm asking a counter question. You have a piece of land. Now, if I forcibly occupy that land, will you forgive me? As Vice Chancellor, I have got moral responsibility to protect the university's land, to protect the university property. And I have simply discharged my responsibility. And here, the Honorable Chief Minister is protecting somebody who grabbed Visva Bharati's land illegally. And that, she has shown the documents of 1943. And that document was issued in the name of her late father. And you know that this is a leasehold, land. And leasehold land cannot be transferred to a dead person. It is transferred to the heir of the deceased individual. So we transferred that land 1.25 decibel to Professor Sen in 2006. But Mamata Banerjee is showing 1943 document. And you, the anchors who are highly partisan, you are, believing Mamata Banerjee because she is CM and, undermining the language, undermining the logic, the argument of the Vice Chancellor. I am also, when I made this comment, I have done my homework pretty well. And on the basis of my homework, I am ready to question the Chief Minister who is doing things wrong for his political gain.
Okay, so you are telling me, Professor Bidyut Chakrabarty, that the TMC and more specifically the Chief Minister of West Bengal is dragging you and Visva Bharati into unnecessary politics. Why would she do it? As you rightly mentioned in the letter, Visva Bharati is West Bengal's only central university. It is something that most Bengalis, all Bengalis in fact I know, take pride in. Why would she drag an institution like the Visva Bharati into politics?
No, madam, please, you are asking me a question. I am asking you a counter question. Please respond. Why did she, drag herself into this land controversy? When I'm saying confidently that Amartya Sen is one of the land grabbers of Visva Bharati, then why did she intervene? I mean, there are arguments. The earlier speaker, Madam Ognimotra Paul, already explained. I don't have to explain this because I don't want to get involved in petty politics. But why did Amartya Sen continue to keep that land in his possession, which doesn't belong to him legally? And Madam Banerjee, Mamata Banerjee, CM, knows about it. The entire world knows about it. I have got the documents. I think if you wanted to know go to the bottom of the story, you should have asked me on what basis you are saying. I am saying on the basis of documents. The land was transferred to Professor Amartya Sen in 2006. Please ask the CM that please show us the 2006 land transfer date. Even in the land record, the Department of Land Revenue belongs to state government. Amartya Sen's name does not figure even today. So that means Mamata Banerjee has petty political aim. That's why she wanted to protect Amartya Sen. I'm giving you a counter example. There is a Baul singer, Udodas Baul, who took Baul to the global stage. And the land grabbers of the TMC grabbed 4 bighas of land from him. He mentioned, he conveyed it to Mamata Banerjee several times. And Mamata Banerjee didn't have time, didn't bother to find out what has happened. But in case of Amartya Sen, she came down to Bolpur to simply humiliate the university founded by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore and humiliate me. I am not, performing my duty as Bidyut Chakrabarty. I am performing my duty as the Vice Chancellor of the university. And Amartya Sen was told several times, and he knows about it. He told us to take the land behind his house. Then we told him that behind the house there is no entry point. So give us the land which belongs to us. And that land was actually a road going to the tribal village. So, he declined. He declined to give that land to us. So please know the entire stuff. And then you make a judgment. Before knowing the story, please do not make a judgment. My request to you, and if you make a judgment, and if you begin the story with your judgmental opinion, I think I'm sorry, you are not actually a proper anchor.
Okay, you can say what you, Professor Chakrabarty, what you want to say, because everyone has a right to an opinion. You do, I do, other panelists do. I would have asked the, TMC panelist to come in and respond to what you're saying, but I don't think you want to get into a verbal, argument with him, which is why I will ask you a question, and then probably I can go to him. This is my last question to you, Professor Bidyut Chakrabarty.
I would like to get into verbal argument with anybody. provided that gentleman is sensible.
Okay, sir. Then
that gentleman goes by the document.
Yes, and civil. That I promise you. That great.
No, I know TMC
great.
people. I've been here for the last 4 years. I know all the TMC people. They have no habit of listening to logic. They go by, as I said, our Chief Minister
should we
sees things by her.
Do you want to give Professor Monojit Mondal a chance? Do you want to give Professor Monojit Mondal a chance?
Monojit Mondal, just a minute. He's our former student. He studied computer science in this university.
Wonderful.
Now he's teaching in Bolpur.
Wonderful.
This gentleman I know, he always feed the public with wrong information. The other day in one of the discussions, he mentioned that I move with CRPF bodyguard, which is wrong. So, here is a person who had half-baked knowledge. Sorry, I don't want to.
Professor Chakrabarty, okay. Acha, you don't want to. I respect that, and you had clarified that before the show. So I'm respecting that, Professor Chakrabarty. I like the fact that you're combating and you're coming out full guns blazing even at me. I have expressed my opinion. I'm grateful that you're expressing your opinion. That's what people in a democratic country do. My last question to you is this. You tell me, sir, you have just said, sir, that this is Mamata Banerjee dragging the university into petty politics. The argument can be made for you as well, Professor Chakrabarty, and I'll tell you why. I'm sure that given the fact that you are the framer of the letter, you know exactly what I'm referring to. You refer to the TMC's jailed ministers, a jailed vice chancellor during the times of Mamata Banerjee, etc. You are the one who's making that political reference in that letter and then accusing the chief minister of playing dirty politics. You can be accused of the same thing as well.
What? Have I gone to jail? Have I been dismissed from my job? Do you have any specific charge against me of laundering money? So why are you saying you are accusing me of these kind of things? Madam, please do your homework, and then
I'm not accusing
you ask question. You said that you are comparing.
Professor Chakrabarty, you misunderstand me. No, एक minute, Professor Chakrabarty, just a minute. You are misunderstanding me. No, you are deliberately misunderstanding me. I am referring to a portion of your letter. I am referring to a portion of your letter, sir, where you are saying, just a minute, nahi sir, nahi, ye galat hai. Professor Chakrabarty, no, Professor Chakrabarty. See, I have respected what you have said. Don't misrepresent what I am saying. I am quoting a portion of your letter where you're talking about, jailed ministers of the TMC and a jailed vice chancellor. Isn't that making it, political? It's just a counter argument I'm giving you, Professor Chakrabarty. There is no need to get so agitated. I'm just giving you a counter argument. It's my job to give you a counter argument.
You're making a wrong statement. You accuse me of charges, being framed against those
what have I accused you of?
You just accused me.
What have I accused you of?
Right.
Of
you
what?
You have no right, madam. You have no right.
But what have I accused you of?
You can run the channel.
But what have I accused you of?
But you said you are accusing me.
Professor Chakrabarty, what have I accused you of?
No, you just said it, madam. You made a statement that you are being accused of the same thing.
Say? Please.
You just look at the recording. I'm sure it's
you can be accused of politicizing the same thing. No. I said you can be accused. If you are accusing Mamata Banerjee of politicizing the issue, you can be accused of politicizing the issue as well, sir. Professor Chakrabarty, now you are deliberately misrepresenting what I am saying.
What is political about it? A person who was...
The fact that you are dragging in jailed TMC ministers into the letter and into the argument.
Please allow me to explain.
Yes.
I am not politicizing.
Yes.
I am simply making a statement that Mamata Banerjee's Minister of Education is in jail because he amassed in a terrible amount of money illegally. Now, suppose if you do the same thing, I'll accuse you of the same thing, that you are a thief. So similarly, one vice chancellor, a sitting incumbent vice chancellor, is in jail because he was accused of stealing money. Then one of the topmost TMC organizers is simply a thief who stole money. by smuggling cow, by illegally, taking coal from this place to another, by taking, wreath or sand from the river bed. So they are simply thieves in terms of the laws of the land. There is no politicization here. I am simply making a statement. If you find anything of that sort against me, then you can say that you are doing the same thing. So that's why I said you cannot accuse me. You said you are accused of. That's why I got little irritated.
No. Okay, then you misunderstood me, Professor Chakrabarty.
Okay, then.
So you misunderstood me. I was saying that since you have accused her of politicizing the issue, have you politicized the issue as well by bringing in something that was frankly unnecessary and not germane to the issue at hand? I mean, where's the point of a university writing to a chief minister and telling her, look, you don't tell us anything because your own ministers, your education minister is in jail. That's the limited point I was making. Do you have a right to make it? Sure, you have a right to make it. You're the Vice Chancellor of a university and you're a citizen of India. My job is to question you. Therefore, I'm questioning you. That's all.
Madam, first of all, you said that you have misunderstood me. I have respect for the anchors who are doing this from Delhi, because I was also a teacher of Delhi University for a long time, and I respect their capability of speaking good, correct English. So when you say that you have misunderstood me, that means you did it deliberately to make statement so that I misunderstand you. That's one. And secondly, to me, a land grabber is a land grabber. A land grabber is a land grabber. A land shark is a land shark. It doesn't matter whether it is Nobel laureate. I have got different opinion. You may not agree with that. Whether it is Amartya Sen, whether it is Mamata Banerjee, or whether it is you. If you are a land grabber, it is not a matter of politicization. Land grabber is a land grabber. So if you say that because I talk about Amartya Sen's grabbing Visva Bharati's land is a political issue, I'm sorry, madam. I beg to differ from you because your understanding of political is so limited. I'm really
no. Professor Chakrabarty, I know exactly what you're trying to do. I know exactly what you're trying to do, Professor Chakrabarty, but you know exactly what I have said, and my viewer, I think, knows exactly what I have said. The part where I have asked you about you being accused of politicizing the issue is because you mentioned the jailed education minister in your letter and a former vice chancellor who is behind bars. That is the limited point I was trying to make. I was only quoting from your letter. But Professor Bidyut Chakrabarty, despite the fact that you don't agree with me and you were upset with me, you decided to stay on and speak to me. I am grateful for that. I have guests joining me on the panel. But go ahead. You want to say something? You go ahead.
Don't go away.
Yeah.
Don't go away. Don't escape.
No, I'm not going away, sir. I am not.
I wish. What is political about this? You don't have any understanding of political.
I'll tell you.
What is political
Sir,
about
Professor Chakrabarty, I mean, you can say. So if you let me speak, I'll tell you. Professor Chakrabarty, if you let me tell you what is political about it, hear me out. I've heard you out as well, and this is a good argument. By the way, I'm enjoying myself and I'm enjoying this chat with you, despite the fact that you're trying to corner me and attack me and raise questions about my education and my language. That's fine. That's fine. We like combative. Guests. We like guests like you. It's good to argue with people like you who are coming up with facts, etc. Now listen to me, Professor Chakrabarty. Come on.
I am not. Please,
you're a professor more than anything else. Okay.
Which you don't.
Professor Chakrabarty, you're a professor. You need to listen to.
There's altercation. I simply said there's nothing political.
Yes. So here's the thing.
Is a land grabber, a person.
Okay, you have said there is nothing political, Professor, and I have told you why I thought there was something political. You have had your say, so we'll leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, just like I have. Thank you very much for your time, Professor. I hope you found it worth your while, as it were. Professor Bidyut Chakrabarty, Vice Chancellor of the Visva Bharati University, thank you very much for joining us and staying with us and answering our questions and being combative about it. Dr Shataropa, BJP spokesperson, joining us. Professor Mondal, I would have brought you in, spokesperson of the TMC, but well, I couldn't because Professor Chakrabarty didn't want to get into a verbal spat with you, but respond to what he's saying. He's saying it's Mamata Banerjee.
What do I say? I mean, one is changed my subject. Yes. I did not study computer science, for God's sakes. I'm a very proud student of the Department of English and other modern European languages. They used to be called DOML, a very proud alumni of that institution. I still hold that place in my heart. Not a student of computer science. Point number one, misinformation number one. You talk of giving misinformation to accuse the chief minister of providing misinformation. Point number one. Point number two, you are talking about land sucks, land grabbers. Nothing has been proven. Point number three, you wrote a book, and I showed this book. This is your book, 2021, Sociopolitical Thought of Rabindranath Tagore, where you are referring to the first partition of Bengal. This is a book, page number 12. You are saying that the first partition of Bengal was revoked in the year 1908. Wrong information. Wrong. Twice, not just once, twice. This is something that the world is reading. You are misleading the world. My chief minister, by siding with the Nobel laureate, misleading Bengal, you are misleading the world by putting out this kind of wrong information in a book that you wrote on Tagore. I repeat, page number 12, Sociopolitical Thought of Tagore. Please correct that book. And then, no, hang on, Shreya.
Let's get back to the subject.
Yes,
let's get back to the subject. I've already had a long behest with my first guest. I don't want to have a long behest with you, Monajit.
No, I tell you, he'll not have this with me. I'm just countering him on fact. He was lambasting other about misreading or misinforming people. He said that Amartya Sen is not a Nobel laureate, and that probably angered him. You begin the show by saying that he's a Nobel laureate. He says that he's a Nobel laureate. Sir, I beg to differ with you. You are a former student of London School of Economics, but it speaks quite low of you. Why do you talk about the chief minister in such a language? And again, the people who are in jail, he is not an education minister. He was removed from the education ministry in 2021 again. So again, misinformation number 4. You are referring to Amartya Sen's land as 1.25 decimal. Please correct yourself. This is again a false information, not 1.25 decimal. You said it 1.25 acre, and the dispute is regarding 1.25 acre or 1.38 acre. Please correct yourself. So because of your excitement, maybe as you have written wrong information in a book coming out from a very prestigious publisher, you are always putting up this kind of...
Professor Mondal.
I tell you...
Professor Mondal.
Shreya, please.
Professor Mondal.
Yeah,
Professor Mondal. No. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
Please.
Okay. And we know what is at the heart of this entire battle that is playing out at Visva Bharati. It is a piece of land which is currently occupied by Amartya Sen, right? We understand that. We understand that. My point is, why has this piece of land become such a volatile issue in Visva Bharati? Where was the need for the chief minister to interfere? If Visva Bharati is saying that Professor Amartya Sen is squatting on that land, and we have papers to prove it, and the papers that you are talking about do not have his name on it, why get involved into a matter which should be between Visva Bharati and Professor Amartya Sen? Why get into it?
Why has it been proven that Mr. Amartya Sen has grabbed that particular piece of land, right? He's saying that few decimals, right? Instead of 1.38 acre, it's 1.25. It's Visva Bharati's version. The state government, the land department is owned by the state government. First of all, Amartya Sen or his father, they are not the owners of the land. They are leasing. Everyone knows that, right? So, and the land department has got a record which is saying that in 1943, the land was of 1.35 acres. In 2006, when the mutation was happening, it could be possible that the mutation was wrongly done. Instead of 1.38 acre, it was 1.25 acres, right? For argument's sake, even if it is true, argument's sake, I'm not accepting the fact. I'm assuming that Visva Bharati is right. Now, what right do they have to insult a person like Amartya Sen by calling his name right now on your show, this Vice Chancellor, I believe he's a very honorable Vice Chancellor, despite the fact that he has got all kinds of charges in Delhi University. One was a teacher in Delhi University. He was suspended. I repeat, I do not want to get into that. He was suspended for 3 years in Delhi University. Despite that, I respect you and respect your chair. What right do you have to call him a land shark? What the hell is this? Is this a country? Is this the way you honor a Nobel laureate? He was named none other than by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. Mr. Amartya Sen was blessed and named by Tagore in 1933. Please ask her to stop. They had 30 minutes of time. Speaking like the vice chancellor.
She didn't. Professor Monajit Mondal, come on. Let's get the bit.
Yes.
Okay, wait. Let's get in Shataropa as well, because she's been.
No. I'm just responding.
Let's bring in Dr. Shataropa. Dr. Shataropa. We'll come back to that. Let the BJP come in with their point of view as well. Dr. Shataropa, let me ask you a question. I know you have a lot of things to say. Let me ask you a simple question. Amartya Sen is one of the tallest citizens in this country. And of course, the state of Bengal as well. Why drag his name through the mud like this? Just because he has said that, Mamata Banerjee has all qualities of a prime minister.
Firstly, Shreya, I've been watching very patiently, and you've been handling the blazing guns on you very well. So I want to make the show slightly pleasant. If you can just handle Monajit Mondal while I'm talking, because I'm going to go right. I don't even want to get into this. I just want to say one thing. Probably Monajit doesn't know. He's been talking about alumnus and this and that. One of my grandfathers was one of the vice chancellors of Visva Bharati. So Visva Bharati, like all other Bengalis, holds a very special position in my heart also. Having said that, one has to understand that the vice chancellor of Visva Bharati is, because it's a central university, he's appointed by the central government, and the Prime Minister of India, whoever he may be at any given point of time, is naturally the Chancellor of Visva Bharati, like the Governor of West Bengal is the Chancellor of Jadavpur University. Now, I gave you this background because it is very important to understand that it is not advisable for any Chief Minister or the Prime Minister of India or any government to get into the politics of any kind of university, whether it's a state university or whether it's a national university, central university. Now, when you were playing out what the Honorable Chief Minister said in Bengali, I don't know how much you understood. I'm not derogating you in any way. It is not possible to understand all the languages of India. But the way she said, I'm sure you understood her body language, the way she said, the tones she used can get insulting for the #1 person of any institute. So whether rightly or wrongly, I'm not justifying that. The Vice Chancellor lashed out. I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into factual statements like what Monajit said or the land disagreement.
But Dr. Shataropa, tell me, as spokesperson of the BJP and someone with history with Visva Bharati. Dr. Shataropa, I'll ask you a simple question. You have a history with Visva Bharati. You tell me that it is, it's a university close to your heart. Do you agree with someone like Amartya Sen, his name being dragged through the mud, him being called a land shark, a squatter, like the good professor just has on this show? Do you agree with that? And is that the way the entire situation should have been handled by the university?
The whole thing should have been handled far better. Firstly, Amartya Sen, with all due respect to him, he should be handling himself a little more the way the tall man that he is. He is, after all, a Nobel laureate. So he should be keeping himself way above any kind of politics. Number one, that is my personal opinion. Number two, the way the Chief Minister has handled the Shantiniketan issue is not really called for, but that is the way she is. That is the way she handles almost everything. She's so celebrity staff, she will storm her way into anywhere with papers in her hand. This is very characteristic of her. As the chief minister, if she wanted to stand up for apparently wrongdoings on Amartya Sen, who is a Nobel laureate, with all due respects to him again, she could have handled the whole thing in a far better manner. After all, like what Monojit is saying, the land records are the property of the state government. She could have simply sent over the land papers and said, look, this is the way it is. There was no need for her to get into this with set of papers and storm her way into and make personal comments on anyone. I mean, had you, when the show is over, Shreya, have one of your Bengali journalists go over with you line by line of what the chief minister has accused. Now, whether the vice chancellor has been matured enough to answer her in this kind of manner or not is entirely his personal prerogative. As a BJP spokesperson, I am not going to talk about the vice chancellor of a university. But having said all this...
Okay, so you're saying you're not here to defend the Vice Chancellor, and maybe both sides could have handled the situation much better. Dr. Shataropa, that's what you're saying, that you are not here to speak on behalf of the university, and I think Professor Chakrabarty has done a fairly good job defending himself and defending what he has done. But Professor Monojit Mondal, fact is that, you know, even my own sense is... just give me a minute. My own sense also is that... you know, there is a dispute between a university and a Nobel laureate who is living near campus. Let the university and the Nobel laureate deal with it. Why should the chief minister jump in? If the chief minister jumps in, attacks the vice chancellor, obviously he's going to accuse her of politicizing the entire issue, and that's exactly what is happening. I mean, just look at how ugly the entire situation has become.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Shreya. The chief minister had to jump in your language because the person is Amartya Sen. And you may agree that he is also citizen of India, and please. I listen to you. Don't have any judgment about others that I'll disturb you. You are disturbing. That's your habit on TV. Please don't do that. I listen to you very patiently. The fact remains that this person has been taken for a ride, Amartya Sen, for the very long period of time. Look at his age. He has been dragged into a court. He has been called all kinds of names by none other than the vice chancellor. And look at the demeanor of the vice chancellor, even on TV. Indeed, he has suspended many teachers without any rhyme and reason. The students are suffering. And you're talking about interference of the government. What your government is doing in Jawaharlal Nehru University when the students are, agitating for a cause, rightly, wrongly. Does your minister make any statement about that? Every other minister says that they are all Deshodrohis in Jawaharlal Nehru. That's not interference. We are very clear. The chief minister of Bengal is no way interfering into the affairs of the university. But when it comes to the land issue, it is the department that belongs to the government. And especially if the person is Amartya Sen. You may say that he is also equal citizen of this country. But when you're giving him all kinds of benefits internationally, travels are free, he's getting security, everything. If the Prime Minister respects him, Prime Minister calls another laureate who is, by the way, Amartya Sen student, Abhijit Binayak Bandyopadhyay, calls him personally to his own place and respecting him. You say that they're all equal, like us, then you are wrong. Again, if they're all equal, they shouldn't get all these benefits. Because the person is Amartya Sen, because of his stature, because of his reputation, across the globe. He's a pride of India. You have been insulting this person for a quite long period of time. Had there been an issue, real issue, go to that person, settle the issue with him. Mr. Bidyut Chakrabarty, I'm not saying that he's no less a scholar. He studied in London School of Economics. I repeat, I'm not sure whether he studied thereafter because his book doesn't reflect on that. He should have gone to Amartya Sen and he should have handled the issue in a better way. But instead of doing that, he is making press statements for the last 1 year against the
I think both sides could have handled the issue. I do think that, a matter between the university and an individual, and yes, he's a Nobel laureate, it shouldn't have escalated to where it has right now, where it's making national headlines, and you have the chief minister calling names to the vice chancellor, and the vice chancellor calling Amartya Sen a land squatter and a land shark. I don't think it is, it should have come to that. Professor Mondal, I'm out of time. Sania Mirza is coming up next. She's just retired. Okay, 10 seconds.
My appeal goes to the Prime Minister, the Chancellor of the university, to please do something for this university, which was founded by none other than Tagore, whom you respect much. And I really appreciate your respect for Tagore. But please handle this university fairly and better.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much, Professor Mondal, for your time. Dr. Shataropa, good to have you on the show. I'm slipping into a quick break. I don't think this story is over yet. I think we've not heard the last from Visva Bharati. I don't think we've heard the last from Mamata Banerjee either. And thankfully, we are not hearing much from Amartya Sen because he's decided that he's going to keep quiet on the entire issue. And I do think that's a wise thing to do. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Slipping into a quick break on the show. Coming up next, Sania Mirza after her retirement, an exclusive interview. Do stay with us.
In association with Biotique. Biotique का cleansing, toning, moisturizing 3 days में बनाए skin को superstar.
When it comes to making your drive electric, never settle for the ordinary. Go EV with India's #1